This is part two of the walkthrough for the Poker Lab. I ran out of space on the. You only get 15 minutes. I know it goes kind of long. Um, so where were we? I've got three different versions of the game from the play hand class. And again, when we finally get into the GUI, this part of it's got to be as simple as possible, as abstract as possible. I'll ask for the kind of game we're going to play. I'll figure from the game what kind of deck we're going to draw. I'll draw the hands. I don't want to expose a lot of this stuff to the GUI side. So imagine the GUI, other than painting the cards, it's not going to do very much. It's going to be all the logic is going to be in the deeper classes from play hand. All right, let's take a look to see what the unit test looks like. I've got a couple of new things I've got to do. Poker Engine Test is my unit test case. I have two new classes. One's called Test Joker. So what Test Joker has to do is I want to test a royal flush and a royal natural flush. In other words, a plain old royal flush that we had before. So what I'm doing is I'm building a hand, and then I'm putting the cards in the hand. I'm calling a all clubs, king, ace, 10, jack, queen. So I know this is going to be a royal flush. I check to see if it's a royal flush. I also check to see if it's a natural. So between this and this, that means it's a natural royal flush. Now I'm testing a joker royal flush. And what I'm going to do with this one is pass in a joker instead of the king. This should still evaluate as a royal flush because the joker is going to be substituted as the king, but this is no longer a natural royal flush. It's a joker royal flush, if you will. And then I've got another class here for test four of a kind, and I'm testing the non-natural four of a kind. I'm passing in a joker, an ace. These are all different suits. A joker, an ace, a jack, and an ace. So I have ace, 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 joker. That should be four aces with a joker. And then I'm saying test the three of a kind, which is two aces and a joker. And then I'm testing a natural three of a kind, I think. Let's see. Test joker three of a kind. Test two joker three of a kind. Okay. So this one I'm passing in two jokers and an ace, jack, and six. This should evaluate as an ace high three of a kind that's not natural. Alright, let's see what we got. If I want to run this, I run it. It's going to ask me how to run it. Let's say using Eclipse JUnit Launcher. And all my cases worked. I've got all the cases that should have worked. Very cool. Alright, let's take a look at wilds. Test wilds. Now this one, I just started this one. This one I have to stand up another hand, but in this case I'm going to pass in which ones are wild as the third parameter in that constructor. Remember I changed the card constructor to pass in the wild. So what I'm doing is I'm saying two's wild, this two's wild, this two's wild, this two's wild, this 10 is not wild, and find me the hand. So let me clear this off, and I'm going to run this, and you'll see what it's going to do. Again, I'm going to run as a JUnit launcher, and it's going to run. Now you can see my little cursor is going, and it's not blue or green, which means this thing is executing right now. Like as we speak, as I'm talking, it's being executed. Okay, let this run for a second. And the reason why this is running, and this is probably an opportunity for refactoring. What's happening is I've got four wilds in the deck, and that means my possible hands is like 7 million, 7.3 million. So first it had to build up all those hands. It had to call that array not just 7 million times, but 7 million. Say, here it is, it's finally done. It had to call it up one time, and then 52 times, and then 2704 times, and then so it's like it's sort of a recursive nightmare, I guess you could say. What I should probably do is short circuit that logic and say, well, if I've got four wilds in the hand, then that means it has to be a royal flush with wild. It certainly would run a lot faster than whatever 30 seconds it did to spin up 7 million hands. But still, it worked. It did what it was supposed to. It just took too long. So either way, I'm setting up a hand. I'm calling it. It certainly is a royal flush. It's not natural. The assert works. I have a printout to tell me how many hands were generated. It was 7 million hands. Again, this could probably be not here refactored. It would probably have to be refactored in hand where I'm doing the evaluate. What I would probably do is go into hand and say, let's see, right here where I'm handling the jokers and wilds. This is the part that's doing wherever that explode is. This is the part that's generating the most UI or IO. Um, I've got to do something to shortcut that, at least for. In other words, if it's two wilds, who cares? It's 2,700. Takes a blink of an eye. The other one, the three wilds. Let's see how long it would take to do three wilds. I'm going to turn one of these to false, and I just want to see real quick how long it would take to run it with three wilds. It might come back right away. It might not. Let's see. So close to right away. Now it didn't assert right because now it's not a royal flush. Now it's something else. What would this be? This is probably a four of a kind. So this thing evaluated as, let's take a look. Evaluated as an 80, which is a four of a kind. So I've got a four of a kind out of this. That's why this didn't work. The thing worked though, and it ran and it created 140,000 hands, and it took a few minutes or a few seconds. So I might want to just shortcut the one that does four wilds or more than four wilds. Either way, it does work. It can be refactored and simplified. You've got Poker Engine. Now, what I did for Poker Engine was I branched out the code. So Revel's out there. If you look, I've got two branches. One's called Wilds, one's called Master. The one I branched is called Wilds. This is like the end of Lab 2. This is like the end of Lab 3. So the way I did it is you go to GitHub, and when let's show you how to do this. So of course both these are changed. If I wanted to, I could just paste like I did before, but instead of tying it to master, let's take a look at the configure push. It's tied to uh, it is tied to wilds. I know that it's tied to wilds. Where's this guy at? Configure fetch and advanced. All right, like I said, when you do the pull, when you do the pull for the source code, make sure you pick the wilds branch. And so here's what I'm going to do. I'll show you how to do it. Take the Poker Engine test. I'm going to remove it from my workspace, and I'm going to re-pull the unit test. I'll show you how to do this. So I'm deleting the my local repository. I'm going to pull it again. So go to Revel, go to JUnit copy the on the clipboard, paste. We've done this before. Go to next, and it's going to ask me which branch I want to pull, and I want to pull wilds. I'll get rid of master, so I'm going to pull wilds. Click next, finish like we did before. Sure enough, it's there, and it's there. So you can do the same thing. Excellent. Sorry for the long walkthrough, but I really did have to explain how this all works. The good news is I think we have all the engine stuff correct. I've got wilds. I've got number of excuse me. I can deal a number of hands of either kind of game. The next is the UI. Excellent. Thank you.